Hello. So you want to know what these seminars are going to be about specifically? Well, it's 38 different areas that I'm going to be talking on. And basically, it's going to be no different from what you already know. I'm not teaching you anything. Okay? How to find yourself. What does that mean? That means, what are you about? Where are you going with your life? What are you doing? What does that mean for the outside world? Okay? 50 questions that we spoke about previously on Saturday. What do you want for your life? What does that mean? What does that entail? Because that's the groundwork that you have to lay down in order to go forward. You have to know what you have to know what you want, and so forth and so on. You have to know how much time you have to get what you don't have. And, furthermore, you really need to know exactly what that looks like for you. Okay, so if you have 10 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, what can you do in that time frame to actually get that thing done? Okay, then we're going to talk about the uncomfortable, how to get uncomfortable. It's like, okay, I want to do everything in my power to get this, and that done. How can I do that? What does that mean I have to sacrifice for something to actually work for me? Do I have to give up my day? Do I have to give up some hours of work? Do I have to sacrifice a good time that I want to have, that I know I'll enjoy myself in order to make some more money? Okay, and then there's how many ways can I make money? How many ways can I go about doing things to make a change? Yet before we get there, it's your schedule. Everybody has 24 hours in a day. Okay, 1,440 minutes in that same day. Okay, so what is your schedule? Break it down. Be general, then be more specific. More specific, then more specific. We're going to go through that, and I might walk through it with you. So you can download everything that you need and then do it from there. And then we have living spaces. Where do you live? You live everywhere you go. That's the way I'm speaking tomorrow. Because everywhere you go, you live. This is your work life. To be more specific, this is your home life. This is my comfort life. This is my, extraordinarily boring life. But I gotta do it, or, just you doing what you gotta do, which is completely understandable. Then it breaks into a segment of reciprocity. That means what I give, I get. What I get, what I get, I give, and what I give, I get. Sometimes it's not equal. It's probably never equal. Yeah, it's never equal. And then we're going to get into a segment of family. That doesn't necessarily mean your biological family. That can be who you call family, who you call father, who you call mother, who you call friend. Okay, what do they mean to you? Who are they? Where are the real ones if these are your feelings? These are all things that are very important before ever approaching the outside world, I would say. Because in the outside world, this is what we do. This is who we're supposed to be. This is who taught us what we know. That's family. Or when we go to work, this is how we interact. This is what we're supposed to do. Next, we're going to talk about love, acceptance, things of that sort. What does it mean to be loved? What does love mean? If you're looking in a dictionary, you're definitely not going to get that answer. So when you have that answer, you have to give it a commonality, a common answer, And in that common answer, it's never complicated. So anybody who's saying it's complicated simply just does not want to explain it. Because everything is actually explained already in due time. Next, we have segment 9 of choices. That means on my 50 questions that I did in 3 sessions, like, okay, what do I want from me personally? What do I want from me just in monetary or in material? And what do I want for others around me that impact my life directly? Okay? Then you have choices. What can I do with? What can I do without? Weeding it all out. This is giving you time. This is giving you space. This is giving you money. This is giving you the avenues for change. Not to change who you are, what you are, more so to expound on being you, a great you, better than you are right now, which you are. This next one, it gets a little harder. Of course, going forward, it will get harder. You are what you attract. Do you feel that way? I mean, there's laws about it, you know, laws of attraction. If you're a reader or, you know, into a social circle that speaks about living your existence in positive affirmations or negative ones, who do you attract? What do you attract? Everything in your life is a part of you. If you see people that you don't like, there's a part of you that you don't like for you to even see them. You ever been in school and somebody was like, oh, I was in your, you know, 4th period class for 2 years, and you never noticed them? They were still people. They were still a person. They never went anywhere. Have you ever seen a car and it really didn't mean anything to you, but as soon as you bought it, you've seen that car everywhere? Same thing. It's what you see. It didn't just show up. So it's all in your peripheral, like what's really going on inside of you. Taking charge is the next step. Making things move, making things change. What does that look like? What is the change? Is it the way you go to work? You're still going to work. Is it the way you come home? It's the way you come home. Is it you leaving your baggage at the door? Is it you making sure that everything is copacetic before you even enter a place, across the threshold to do that job? Like when you go into the kitchen, you're prepared to cook. When you go into a workplace, you're prepared to work. When you go to the bank, you're prepared to give or take money. That's the job of that area. Taking charge to doing something productive, specifically. Common comforts. This is a big one. What's comfortable? Is it your time? Is it your money? Is it your sanity? Is it where you can go, what you can do, who you can do it with? These are all things that are important to great life. And we need to say, okay, well, what am I good at? Oh, you have problems in these 50 questions with what you want. Oh, I don't want anything, or I just want this, or I just want that. It's more important to know what your comforts are so you won't do what makes you uncomfortable. It won't bother you to say, okay, you know what, I have to do this job, or I have to. You really don't. You just choose to for trade of some sort. Going into that and making it a tool that you can use to better yourself in comparison to coexisting, or how can I say, just being. You don't have to do that. Then journaling. You already started journaling, so now keep journaling. When you write, sometimes things just pop out the way they're supposed to be. That's it, the way they're supposed to be. Sometimes you're writing about one subject and another subject pops out and you're writing about that, and then you write about something else and you write, and it's a cluster of stuff that you're talking about. And you got it off your chest, now you can go to sleep. Now you can move on and you let it out. That's the point. And with journaling, it's also called record keeping. When it comes to money, you're gonna write down a whole lot of stuff, and you're gonna, or hire somebody to write down these things that you should know about. And then we're gonna talk about taxes and all of that sort of stuff. And communication. Communication is extremely big. Some people need to learn how to listen. Some people need to learn how to talk. Some people need to learn how to use their body language, which is one of the most important languages that doesn't need a speech or a sound. And what are we conveying by our body language? Is it matching what we're saying? So if I'm sitting here like this, I mean, is that conveying that I want a job or that I want to do what you're talking about? Or does it look like I'm kind of standoffish? Body language, all kinds of things like that. And then we're going to talk about certain areas of family that we bring into the world. Okay, that's a big one. The ones is like, well, I got kids, or I have a significant other that's taking up all of my time, or I have a bad relationship with my father, I have a bad relationship with my mother, I have a bad relationship with, whomever, and you take it out on the ones that you're responsible for, supposedly. Okay, so you can blame it on whatever you want to, but all of this coincides with the basis of what the issues are. So, to say a lot in a little sentence, I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to make a point. I'm not here to teach you anything, even though you may learn. I'm here to let you answer the question. I'm going to ask the question, you answer the question. And if you weren't able to complete the questions, what do I want? If you couldn't do it, and you have a friend or a coworker or a spouse, sit down with them, you ask them a question, they ask you a question. Being that most people in the world are very selfish, they're not going to remember your answer. That's for you. Now, if you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, what do you want? Da, da, da. What do you want? Da, 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 da. And you're blurting stuff out, some stuff might actually slip. It's like, ooh, wasn't expecting that, but it was the truth. And then you go on and on and on. It gets deep. So be ready for it. Okay, decision making. Now you know what is and what isn't. You know who you are, you know who you're not. Now you can live in that foundation of being, okay, and be resilient in that and through that. And we're going to touch on all levels of understanding in that process. And then patience. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much you jump out there and say, okay, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that, or I have all of this stuff on my plate and I got to do all of it. Yes, you do. And it's in the schedule. We live several lives within one day. No problem. Yes. Okay. You need to learn patience. It's like, I can't finish all of this, so I'm going to get these parts of this done. I'm going to get these parts of this done, these parts of this done, all in that same amount of time. Don't beat yourself up. I do it all the time, so I'm not saying it's a perfection thing. It's just an understanding of time and necessary things. So that's that. Then we know all of this stuff. We have all of this information, and we're doing all of this stuff. We're doing our due diligence over and over and over again, and now we're becoming tired. We need to simplify. That's where we learn to articulate. That means just to specify specifically what needs to be done in this little juncture. What do I want to convey? Period. And leave it at the period. After the period, don't explain anything to anyone. Just do what you're there for, to say or to respond to, and that's it. Okay? And then we have thought processes. How you think about it. What are the outcomes? You have to look at your responses. You have to look at what happens over and over repetitively. What keeps going on over and over and over and over and over again? Because that is who you are. What's about it is who you are. No, it's like if you could imagine doing something, you would do it. And the way you do it is because of this or because of that or because of the way you were raised here or there. And in that, you will change everything about yourself. Not change who you are, because that's your makeup. Now, my name is Hezekiah Ibn Aquib Kaba'el, and that's the period.